Hello and welcome to a special live edition of NBC. I am your host, Casey DeFreitas, and today I am here with Per Snyder.
Hello.
Zach Ryan. And Brian Altano.
Did you rip your buttons when you did that?
I got the snaps. I got the snap.
Oh, I was gonna say that's dedication, man. Nice work.
Yeah, I got the snap buttons. It's cool.
So we couldn't do episode 500 like we originally wanted to, but we figured we'd still want to do something a little bit special. So we're doing a live NBC where we will answer your questions in the chat on our NBC YouTube page and on IGN's Twitch. Spoiler, my internet is actually out, so I am using my phone, so I actually can't see the chat. So Brian and Zach will be monitoring the chat for me. Thank you so much for that. And before we get into it, I wanted to address the cute icons of all of us on the kind of blog row image as you were waiting to come in. That art is available on a special NBC 500 shirt on IGN's store. Guys, what do you think about that?
Oh, I love it.
Cute. I wanted one for the show, but didn't get here.
Didn't happen in time, unfortunately. So everyone, get your questions ready. We will be here to chat with you and answer your questions, but also stick around because halfway through, we're going to show you a special Q&A with Nintendo's Bill Trinen. Remember, Zach asked you guys for a bunch of questions for hypothetically someone at Nintendo? That was Bill. And
it was very sneaky. It was a very sneaky deal that I did.
Thank you for that. And so, stick around for that. And then after that, we will switch out Pear for Tom. And we will also announce who of all of you who originally got tickets for NBC 500 Live has won Animal Crossing New Horizons. So, yeah, I'm excited. Let's get to it.
First, I have a question first for the chat. What did everybody name their island? Tell us what you named your island.
Ooh.
I personally named my island Florida too. Not a sequel, but like Florida as well, in honor of Casey. Yeah.
Mine's called Schnyland.
Schnyland.
Yeah, thank you.
Mine's called Koholint, like in Link's Awakening, obviously.
Mine is called Poke, but with two Ks. Because it is the town from the second Monster Hunter that came out on the PSP. But also it sounds like Pokemon. So I got
everybody knows. Everybody
one.
knows about the Monster Hunter town. That's honestly that was my first choice as well, but it was already taken by you, obviously.
Oddly, Poke is originally spelled with like the E with the squiggly, like the one from Pokemon, and that is profane. I don't know why.
Wow.
But I couldn't use that name. I had to use the regular E.
So the chat, by the way, the chat is alive with lots of island names. A lot of Nintendo names like Fino, cities like Portland. There's another Koholint, Brian, so you're not very original. Golden Sun, Windfall, Serenity, Grimmy, River, one that I don't want to read, Pride Rock, Nambu, Ghost Island. Jesus, yeah, they're a lot. And it's not that cool.
My personal favorite, Sheba Isle. I think that's very good.
Pretty good.
That's a good one. Oh, so I actually figured out how to get chat up on a second phone that I am borrowing. So I can see at least the YouTube chat.
Are you going to moderate?
I will monitor. I can't moderate, but I can look at the chat because it's not my account that I'm logged in as.
Just to warn you.
You have two phones, so you got the GM
I'm
money.
borrowing my partner's phone, so he is phoneless right now in an internetless apartment.
Oh my God, is he going to be okay?
I don't know. I hear him playing guitar out there. It should be fine.
Okay.
I was going to say a couple of things can happen. I closed my door knowing that when Midna, my dog, when she sees a closed door, she's going to open it, and she already did it. She just walked by, went pa-ting, and the door swung open and she left. So if you guys hear screaming, that's my kids playing Animal Crossing.
Chris Zard keeps asking me, what is the mashed turnip recipe? You know what? There isn't the mashed turnip recipe. It's whatever you want to put in the mashed turnips. It doesn't have to be a singular thing. You just got to boil the turnips. You got to mash them. You can stick them in a stew. You can add butter to them. You can do a lot of stuff with turnips.
Dude, I just remembered. I bought you a shirt, a very special shirt for this very special 500 occasion, Casey, that is in my desk at work, but it's it's a green shirt that says, "Veggies make me turn up."
Oh my God, Zach. I totally forgot that you asked for my shirt size. I'm so excited to go back to get this. I'm sorry.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I wish that I'd had the foresight to bring it home with me and I could hold it up and show y'all, but I don't have it.
That's okay. One day we'll go back to the office.
Yeah, who knows when? It's really up in the air at this point.
Yeah, I've lost hope. I think this is our lot now.
Seems that way.
Zach,
it definitely seems that way. What's up with chat? Are we getting any questions? Do we want to answer some questions?
Okay. Thompson wants Zach to give us a little bass slap sample. Bass slap.
Can we get a bass? No, I don't have I don't have an amp. I don't have an amp with me, or else I would lay down just a fat bass line. But my amp is at my rehearsal space, so I can't represent. It's too quiet otherwise.
Unfortunately. Aaron Quinn asked, do you think we will ever see the Conduit 3?
Man, that would be interesting. Perry, remember covering that game?
Yeah, I remember covering the Conduit. It was already Casamasinas and Boson's time when that came about. It's possible that you'll see games like that reissued, obviously, on the Switch. Can you guys hear me okay, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't think you'll see a Conduit 3. That's just there's so little brand equity in that name brand that not even I don't think you'll even see it return as a Kickstarter. But who knows, right? We got to shed 3. We totally lost you just now.
Yeah.
Zach, right?
I was really hoping that wasn't on my end and that it was somewhere else because we didn't hear any of that, Brian.
No, it looked like everybody froze.
No, so we're dealing with home Wi-Fi. Like a lot of people actually, the ISPs went down in a couple of areas. As on earlier with John Davis, and he lost all access, and then obviously Casey's out right now, so that could happen to.
So a lot of people are asking about, including Joshua Shoup, has anybody played the Trials of Cold Steel 3 demo that came out to the Japanese eShop a few weeks ago? I haven't had a chance to play the demo. I actually haven't played any Trials games, but I've heard a bunch of people kind of talking about Trials more recently, and it seems like the kind of thing that I would be into. It's very like a very cool JRPG that sounds appealing to me, but I haven't played the new demo. Has anybody checked it out?
No, nope, I stuck around the E3 booth last year a while and saw it, like made a mental note to check it out when it came, but I didn't even know it was available on the Japanese eShop already. So I will have to check that out.
Ooh. Is Animal Crossing New Horizons in IGN's top 10 Switch games? That comes from Necromancer ADR. That's a good question. We just put out our top 25 list a few weeks ago, but the idea around that list now is that it'll be updated live essentially. So like as new games come out that should make it on the list, they'll be added to the list. And I think that there's definitely a place for Animal Crossing on the list. Where would you guys put it in the pantheon of top 25 Switch?
I personally
connections.
wouldn't. Oh no, we're having a hard time.
You're back.
Everything was fine before we were streaming.
That's so funny. Yeah, I honestly think Discord is getting hammered too.
Yeah, probably.
Well, it is Friday night.
Oh no, I didn't think about that. Everyone's gaming right now.
You should really research this whole video production streaming thing. Like could be a real niche for IGN, I think, if we did this sort of stuff.
Yeah, and like had an actual space to do it with the best internet that was wired.
I've been thinking about this. We could open like an office or something.
Whoa.
With like a studio?
Yeah, with like lots of little rooms, and each person is in like a tiny room, so they can't touch each other. But I honestly think Animal Crossing is going to be a top 10 game, don't you guys?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I would probably put it. I'd probably put it top 10. I don't know if I'd put it top 5 yet.
Yeah, I personally probably wouldn't put it in the top 10 for me.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
Everyone's so surprised. I like Animal Crossing.
Oh, dragon.
Oh,
There's
there's no
no
dragon.
dragons.
No dragons, no turnips. Well, the few
No, it
turnips.
does have turnips.
That's right.
You're right, it does.
There's-
it does.
there's like
There's
a ska chameleon. That's kind of like a dragon, and he like asks you to catch bugs. You met that guy?
I really like Animal Crossing. I don't think it's one of my favorite games ever.
It's okay. You could be
It's
wrong.
okay.
It's all right.
It's fine. It's fine if I'm wrong.
I'm really
It's okay.
liking it so far.
I also.
What's in our top
people-
10 right now? You can take those fire emblems out of there. Get those guys.
What? No.
No, there's only one. There's only one Fire Emblem in there.
What else is in our top 10? Besides Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart, Mario Odyssey.
Mario Odyssey. Here, let me bring it up.
I had it up a second ago too, and then the internet went to crap. So
Speaking
I
of
was like,
Animal Crossing, Danny Vieira does want to know what fruit we guys started with.
I started with
peaches.
oranges. I started with oranges.
I also started with oranges, and I wanted to name my island Orange Island originally, but there weren't enough characters.
Boo.
Yeah. Unfortunately.
Zach and I went to each other's towns like pretty much immediately and gave each other fruit. And it was pretty great because like right off the bat, we went from having like one each to having like four because I think we had each gotten an extra one from someone else. But then the fun thing about connecting with other players in Animal Crossing is that people in your town start asking about them. And so I have this, he's like a buff deer. He's like this blue deer that always talks about going to the gym and working out. And like, he'll come up to me and he'll be like, and he'll say like, hey, Brian, I had a really good time today at the gym with Zach. He was doing crazy lat pull downs. And I'm like, what? This is so on brand for you guys.
Yeah, I think it's really funny. Like if you go to somebody's island once, like those island inhabitants will talk about you for like weeks. Because I only went to Brian's island one time, but he sent me a screenshot of that deer talking about me. So
have you guys had a villager leave yet?
no.
Nope.
This morning?
You probably have that all the time, right?
What does that mean?
No, I'm just asking.
I do have a question. What happens when you tell Isabel that you have a problem with the way someone speaks or dresses?
She goes behind the counter and gets a shotgun.
No!
It's one of the only cutscenes in the game. No, I haven't done that yet. But I did have this chicken that I didn't like, and he came up to me yesterday. He was just kind of like putzing around all like mad. And he was like, hey, Brian, I was thinking of getting out of this town. I kind of want to leave. What do you think I should do? And I was like, yeah, leave.
Oh.
He was like, oh, all right, well, yeah, bye. And then I came by the next day and his house was gone. Like he left with his whole house.
Oh,
He didn't even leave his house. He took his whole house with him.
Brian, they do that.
I know, it's weird, man.
Hey, so I wanted to go back to chat here for a second because Shiggy Gaming keeps asking us if we want a Snowboard Kids remake, and I just think that that's such a weird question. But I did play a lot of Snowboard Kids on the Nintendo 64. I don't necessarily know that we need a remake, but I think like a snowboarding game would be good on the Switch. We never got
it's like
Steve.
tricky.
Yeah, Tricky would be great. That'd be a great port. But I think even like a new original snowboard game would be nice.
I actually think a Snowboard Kids remake would be awesome because it is, you know, like the inevitable issue with snowboard games is that, you know, you finish 1080 and you move on, whereas like Snowboard Kids was a little bit more like Mario Kart. Like you keep on being able to play because there's this randomness factor that doesn't just rely on a skill. So I don't know. I'd love to see it again, but
Snowboard Kids is just Mario Kart. Snowboard Kids is just Mario Kart on the snow. Like,
yeah. That's awesome.
Does that make
you
it
don't want
better,
Mario
though,
Kart on the snow?
I guess that's fine.
They have Mario Kart on the snow. It's all the snow levels with Mario Kart. What are you guys talking about?
Nick Amaro says Snowboard Kids all grown up, and I think that would just be called Snowboard Men.
So I want to also mention this question from the chat. This one is from OnlyLink97, and he says, "How does Link sound to each of you in your head? What voice does he have?"
Sarat.
I can't imagine him with a voice because he doesn't have lines, so he just makes the noise all the time, right?
I mean, his screams sound like the kid from Terminator 2. What's his face?
Edward Edward Furlong?
He sounds like Edward Furlong, but I feel like I don't know. I don't really want him to have a voice because he'll sound stupid.
Keith, in my head, he's always sounded like Keith David, just like a really low, like very authoritative. Yeah, that's it.
I think everybody thinks of Orlando Bloom.
Oh, Sean Flanagan says Link sounds like Tom Holland.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe.
I could see that.
Really that dorky?
I can see that. You think Tom Holland sounds dorky?
Yeah, well, might have something to do with Spider-Man being kind of,
a dork.
dorky. It sounds like the CDI is linked. Excuse me, princess guy.
He's probably more Michael Cera.
Yeah, he could be closer to that. Link sounds like Morgan Freeman. What if he sounded like Solid Snake?
Yeah.
These are all great questions. Hey, this is a really good one that I wanted to read out. In 2021, Mario turns 40. What do you think Nintendo was going to do about that? Personally, I'd love to see a Super Mario All-Stars collection, but for the 3D games, including 64, Super Mario Sunshine, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2. That is an excellent idea. I think I'm still waiting for like Super Mario Brothers 4, which is like a 2D, maybe pixelated Mario game, side-scrolling platformer, like in the same vein as Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3. But
they made that game.
Well, they made Mario Maker, and they made Super
Mario World.
Brothers. Well, yeah, but I'm saying like it could be called Super Mario Brothers 4 and be like a traditional 2D Mario Brothers game.
Honestly, that would be really awesome if just like 40 years later they're like, and here is Super Mario Brothers 4. It'd be like,
yeah, I'd love that. Yeah,
what were you guys doing all those years?
Yeah, if it was just like really beautiful pixel art, I think that'd be really cool. They'd never do that though because the teens won't buy pixel art games.
I think one of the issues is that I think Nintendo assigns a lot more value to 3D games than to 2D games, and so a collection. I'd be curious to see if they would do a collection with 3 3D games. I could see a Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, but anything more than that, I figure they would, I think they would sell them separately, don't you think?
Maybe.
They still feel very modern and full-fledged.
Yeah, I think there's probably too much money to be made in packaging those up individually and selling them, like the idiots like me and Brian who will buy them over and over and over again.
That's right.
Yeah.
Enablers.
This question is from Bryce Doherty, and he says, question for the 4, who hasn't played Slay the Spire and why not? I just got into it in January due to Casey, and I'm 160 hours in. It's so good.
160 hours. Wow.
I've got around a similar time.
I haven't played it. It's a card battler, right?
Yeah, like deck building.
That's why.
Game.
Yeah, it's just not really my scene. There's been a couple of card battlers that I liked, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm in the same boat.
It's okay. I forgive you guys.
I play plenty. And I like card games. I like physical card games. I'm not a huge video game card game player, but I really got into that. It's just really well made. What do you got on your TV there?
Though somebody just asked me, Omer Jonas asked Zach, "What's on your TV?" And I had to look. I had to make sure, but it's Animal Crossing, of course.
Oh.
I was right in the middle of building out a nice forest over here. But
hey, that game looks a lot nicer than I thought it would look. I really like that weird felt texture on the.
It's really pretty
on a screen.
We told you, Pear. We told you it would look.
I know. I may have said that it didn't.
I'm honestly kind of impressed with how great the museum looks. As soon
the
as
museum
it's built
looks awesome.
And I went in, I just immediately wanted to fill out my museum. That is my goal. It's probably not going to happen, but I'll try.
I got a fossil, everybody.
Oh, finally, the first one.
Got it.
I really like how Blathers looks. He looks like very soft, like you. Yeah, this is sadistic, but it looks like you can cut him up and use him for crafts.
He looks like he walked off. He looks like he walked out of Yoshi's Craft World.
Let me ask you guys a question. Which Animal Crossing character would you guys eat?
I
think I'd eat Gulliver.
I only have a cat. And a koala on my island, and I don't think that either of those would be too delicious.
Just have a derpy looking hippo move in, and hippos would probably be good eating, right?
What?
Hippo meat would probably be pretty gamey, I think.
I also think
I don't know compared to pigs.
All I know of hippos is they poop where they stand. And
what?
You know,
what are you
like
talking
a cow poops
people.
and moves, and a hippo just goes. "Ugh." Just a cloud. You have to watch the animal documentary, Zachary Ryan.
Okay.
They're, chat, back me up. Hippos make poop clouds. Everybody knows
Poop
that.
clouds.
I didn't know that. Nobody here knew that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Look at Zach reading. You can see that his brain is trying to figure out what the letters
There are
mean.
multiple
Look at
villages literally made of food. Like meringue! The strawberry crepe rhino.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. We got a question on Twitch from someone named Fisto.
Okay.
Just roll right through that.
This is a Jedi.
He says, what happens to Animal Crossing events and holidays after Nintendo stops sending seasonal updates? As far as we know, we can't time travel to trigger those events. So he's basically saying, like, all of these events in Animal Crossing are connected to online. You have to connect at least once on, Christmas or New Year's, Easter, whatever it is. So what happens years and years later when you don't have an internet connection? And I don't have necessarily
Brian,
an answer.
I'm going to cut you off because we need to throw to a package, but we will finish answering this question as soon as we come back. So stick around to watch the Q&A with Bill Trinen, where he answers all of your questions that you sent us. Stick around. Hey everyone, Casey DeFreitas here with Bill Trinen, the Senior Product Marketing Manager of Nintendo of America. He's also a professional translator who's interpreted for Shigeru Miyamoto, and he previously worked on Nintendo's game localization division. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, today we're just going to go through a few questions, 10 or more, that you, our NVC listeners, have sent to us. Bill, thank you so much for agreeing to answer their questions. I'm sure everyone's super excited to hear.
I'll do my best.
Let's get started. First question, this one is actually from one of our IGN staff. How many donuts did you actually eat for the Yokai Watch skit?
There were many. There were many takes and many donuts, but I can say it was definitely more than 2.
More than 2 donuts, okay.
Yes.
At least normal. Next question, what's your favorite memory from localizing Link's Awakening?
Oh, wow. So that was one of the very early games that I worked on, and it was it was a Game Boy Color version, so it wasn't quite the original game. And we didn't have a whole lot to do because, of course, it was based off of the original. We were working on the Game Boy Color version, but I just remember, for me, it was less about the localization and really just more about the game itself. And I found all of the characters in that game to be just so kind of weird and endearing and unique. I really liked the vibe that they tried to create with the mysteriousness of the island and how they had that play out through the characters.
So I know we just talked about this in our previous segment, but people watching this now maybe haven't heard it. So why is KK Cruisin' the best song in Animal Crossing?
It's just got the best. It's just so good. I don't even know how to describe it. It's just, from my perspective, it's just the perfect song.
KK Cruisin', beat, perfect song.
Good rhythm. That's right. Perfect song.
You heard it here. What is your personal favorite Zelda game?
Oh, it's actually really difficult to answer because it changes, and it has changed over the years. Probably, obviously Breath of the Wild, just because of what that game is and everything that it has been able to do in terms of the open world and just giving you so much freedom. But 2 games that really kind of stick with me. One would be Majora's Mask.
Thank you.
Yeah. And that was, for a variety of reasons. One is just I loved, again, the world and the characters and the kind of foreboding sense of doom that just was pervasive all across that game. But also I felt like that was a game, I love puzzle solving in Zelda games. And to me, everything about that game was a puzzle, even down to how you saved. Like even the save system itself was a puzzle. And so I felt like that was sort of like the core essence of puzzle solving distilled into a single game. And then the other one is the Wind Waker, just because of the art style and the world and the storyline in that game were something that I really, really enjoyed.
Thank you. I really can't express how happy I am that you love Majora's Mask as much as I do. So thank you for that. No one can give me crap about it ever again.
Never. No one can give you crap for loving that game.
So next, who do you play as in Smash? And also, are you any good at Smash?
So I have two mains in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Yoshi and Zelda. And Yoshi and Zelda also were two characters that I mained in Melee. And specifically in Melee, I did main Zelda, and I would only go to Sheik in sort of dire straits when I was down to my last. I would say I am pretty good at Smash, but I'm not great.
Okay.
And unfortunately, I'm at the point now where my son is officially better than I am, which has happened just over the last year and a half now. So he beats me regularly.
Got to get to training.
That's right. Well, now I'm worried because he's training his little sister as well. So I'm worried she's going to...
Oh, they're just going to gang up on you. You have no chance now. So these next questions are from our audience on Twitter. And the first question is from High on Fructose. If a Pokeball gets destroyed, what happens to the Pokemon inside of it?
I'm pretty sure Pokeballs are indestructible.
I would agree with you there.
Yeah.
This next question is from the Bus Driver 05. What's the coolest item you purchased from the corporate Nintendo store?
Oh, so there was a, I don't know if they still have it or not, but there's this cute little light blue kind of fashion backpack that is designed to look like Navi. So it has little wings on the back and everything. And so I bought that for my daughter, which she really enjoys.
That sounds really cute. This next question is from Lunar Jade. Who gets to design the Nintendo booths at the big convention events?
Oh, there's a very big team that does that. And we have an experiential marketing group, and they work very closely with designers both at Nintendo of America as well as with designers back at Nintendo in Japan. They're oftentimes working directly with development teams and getting assets. And as you can see, even with a show like PAX East, where we had the world of Animal Crossing brought to life, even at smaller shows, they're doing things like that now. And the PAX East for me was just really incredible, the job that they did and the way that they brought even the water of Animal Crossing to life at that show.
This one is from Shikapur21. How does Shiv Kapoor 21, apologies. How does Nintendo use or implement player feedback? Some companies focus test everything. Some, like Apple, just take the decisions they think are best for customers. What is Nintendo's approach to listening to gamers?
We do it in a variety of different ways. I don't really want to go into a whole lot of detail about how, because that's a little bit of the secret sauce of Nintendo, but we are a very developer and creator driven company, so it all starts there. But they're also, very in tune to kind of, what consumers are saying. They have their own process for how they will focus test things in informal settings. Sometimes even at shows like at E3, you might see them watching people play and taking notes and then going back and as they're finishing up on the game. And but they're very in tune to how people respond when they're playing the games, because that's I think at the core of kind of the magic of our video games, is that feeling that you get when you're pressing a button.
This one is from Enzo Slider. Does the phrase "I work for Nintendo" ever get old? Please say no.
It hasn't yet. So.
This one is from Abnormal Ninja. If you could add any new animal to become a villager in Animal Crossing New Horizons, what animal would it be?
You mean like a new species?
Yeah.
Well, if the game does have kangaroos, but if I was in charge, I would add quokkas. And if you don't know what a quokka is, go look it up on the internet.
I'm going to have to look that up immediately after this. This one is from Eggplant. What is something about Nintendo that very few people know?
Interesting. Something about Nintendo that very few people know. That one is kind of stumping me because I don't know. I feel like the things that I know about Nintendo, I just assume everybody knows, but maybe they don't. So I would say that if we're talking maybe a little bit less about Nintendo fans and a little bit more about the general public, probably two things that I would say. One is that Nintendo is a lot older than most people realize because the company was founded about 130 years ago now, roughly. So it's been in business for a very long time. The other is that Nintendo is probably a lot smaller than most people realize in terms of the number of employees. We're actually not a very big company.
This one is from DJ Starbust. What Nintendo world would you want to live in? What NES GB era game would you like to see revived? And how's the cafeteria food at Nintendo? Apologies for the loaded question.
That's like 4 questions in one.
I know. Come on, man.
Okay, so wait, the first one is which Nintendo world would I most want to live in?
Mm-hmm.
I would probably say, originally I was going to say the Wind Waker, but maybe I would say Breath of the Wild because I'm a big skier and that has nice mountains and some good slopes that I think I could ski down. So I think I would say Breath of the Wild, but without the Guardians.
Yeah.
As long as I have that caveat, then Breath of the Wild.
I was about to say, that's a really dangerous choice.
Yeah. So the second question?
Is what NES GB era game would you like to see revived? So Game Boy, Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh, NES or Game Boy? Well, mainly just because I love the music so much, I would love to see a new Balloon Fight, Balloon Trip game. And although we had that in Nintendo Land, but I'm a big fan of the Balloon Trip music.
Cool.
So.
And last question from DJ Starbust, you sneaky person putting in so many questions in one tweet. How's the cafeteria food at Nintendo?
It's pretty good. There's a good selection of things to choose from. And if you want, there's always the old standby of just getting a pizza, or they've got different soup every day, and then they've got other rotating dishes. So it's almost like you can walk in there and no matter what, you can find something that you'll be happy with that day.
I'm jealous. And now we're moving on.
You're in like downtown San Francisco. You've got restaurants all over the place.
You're right. We do. San Francisco does have some of the best food that I've had. So at least we have that. These next questions are from our Facebook group at Nintendo Voice Chat Podcast Forums. You can request to join that, and then you can be in on things like this for Q&A and asking of questions for Question Block. This one is from Matt Pecora. Have your nieces and nephews managed to convince the kids at school that their uncle actually works at Nintendo?
My son has, his friends know that his dad works at Nintendo.
They believe him. Finally.
Yep. Finally.
This one is from Andrew Rakow. What was the most exciting thing or announcement that you've been a part of since working at Nintendo?
Oh, probably the original reveal of the Wii Remote. We were at Tokyo Game Show for that original reveal, and it was revealed in a presentation, and then we had media interviews afterwards. But and we had done some media demos so that media could go hands-on with it, and just seeing the looks on people's faces when they walked into that media demo, not knowing what they were going to see, and then seeing the Wii Remote, and people were just dumbfounded and they couldn't believe it, was probably the most exciting time that I can remember.
I can't imagine. So this next question is from Jacob Daniel Gilliam. And I know we already asked what are some things people wouldn't know about Nintendo, but what's something unexpected about working at Nintendo that most people don't know?
I don't know. Something unexpected about working at Nintendo. Maybe one of the unexpected things about working at Nintendo is that because we are somewhat of a small company. You do run into Doug Bowser in the cafeteria, and you do have conversations, with him just kind of on a daily basis. And even the people that are higher up within the organization are all very accessible to basically anybody in the company. So that, I think, is probably one of the things that I like best about Nintendo.
This one is from Matt Niban. What made you want to work for Nintendo specifically? Was it a childhood experience?
Actually, it's funny because I grew up in Seattle and Nintendo is in Seattle. And when I graduated college and was looking for work, originally I didn't even think to apply at Nintendo, even though I spoke Japanese and was looking for jobs that had something to do with Japan. And I just happened to, I was at the time trying to get a job doing web localization, and had applied to a company that was doing that. And they said, oh, well, we don't have a job for you, but there's a contract job at Nintendo. Would you be interested in trying to do that? And I was like, well, I need a job, and yeah. And so then I went and interviewed and ended up getting hired on full time. So it literally was a little bit of leave luck to heaven, kind of right time.
That's amazing. So, this one is from Evan Beedolf. Hello, Bill Trinen. It's like he knew. What is your favorite moment translating for Miyamoto?
Oh my. There have been so many, but I would still have to say probably the very first time. And it was the first time that I met him. He was doing a keynote speech at the GDC in probably about March of 1999. And so this was maybe 4 months after Ocarina of Time had released. And it was his first time doing a big public keynote speech like that in the US. And it was in front of an audience of about 5,000 people. And he was very nervous, and I was very nervous. And we walked out on stage. And at the beginning of his speech, he had sort of a small little joke, and the whole auditorium erupted in laughter. And that was sort of the moment where both of us were like, whew, okay. And all the stress was gone, and then we just went on to have a lot of fun. And that kind of became our motto for any time we did anything on stage together was, who cares, how it goes, let's just go out and have fun. And as long as we're having fun, everyone else is going to have fun.
Well, thank you so much for answering all of those questions, Bill. I really appreciate it. I'm sure all of our listeners of NPC super appreciate it as well. Do you have any last messages for our audience at Nintendo Voice Chat?
Well, number one, I want to thank the audience for tuning in to 500 episodes. I want to congratulate you and the team on the 500th episode, and I'm hoping for 500 more.
Thank you so much. I do too. Thank you so much again for coming here, man. There's so many things we wanted to do on Friday that we weren't able to, but I'm still so glad that you made this happen with the Q&A and our special Animal Crossing segment. So thank you again so much. And for everyone listening at home, thank you for watching. Remember, you can watch the full episode of NVC every Thursdays at 3 p.m. on IGN.com or our YouTube channel or your favorite podcasting platform. Thanks, and tune in next time.
And welcome back to the present. Tom Marks is here, who's replaced Pear, but Pear Schneider hasn't gone anywhere. He's still in the chat, so check that out. I hope you guys enjoyed the Q&A with Bill Trinen. It was really awesome being able to ask him all the questions that you guys sent in. And thank you for sending them in the first place. But let's get back to our Q&A with you. Brian, can you just repeat that question that I cut you off very rudely?
Sure. No, it's totally cool. You left it on a cliffhanger. I think that's a good thing. We got a question from a guy named, or a girl, or somebody named Fisto in the Twitch chat. I will never get over that name. And he asked, what's going to happen to all of the sort of like timed online events that are going to be hitting Animal Crossing over the next few months and years? You love that one, don't you, Tom? And so one of the questions around this is like, you basically have to connect to the internet to experience stuff like Christmas and New Year's and Halloween in Animal Crossing. But what happens when those servers go down, or when, like the apocalypse happens, or you want to play offline forever? And so my theory about that is Splatoon 2 had similar modes. And eventually when they basically said like this game is content complete, they unlocked those modes and basically allowed you to play them offline. So I'm hoping that Nintendo does the same thing with Animal Crossing. After a couple years, they just go, these are just part of the story now, and you can time travel to those days whenever you want and experience Christmas forever.
Well, it's also it's interesting because something we're going to find out. Well, I guess we won't find out for a year. Is like when Nintendo adds, let's say, Easter or whatever to Animal Crossing in an update that you couldn't time travel to before. A year from now or after that, are you going to be able to time travel to Easter at any time? Like, is that update going to stick? Is that holiday just always going to be in the game? Or in 3 months after Easter, are they going to take it away so that you can't time travel back to it? Because otherwise,
what if they do another Easter?
Right, like they could do a different Easter, but like, is that Easter just going to be still in the game? We don't know an answer to that question yet. So it could just be too that when they stop updating the game late in the future, like we'll just have everything they already had there, and you can start time traveling.
Yeah, honestly, like I have no idea. I know the events with Monster Hunter, like if you're not online, you can't do the events. So Animal Crossing might be the same, but I'm hoping it's what Brian said with Splatoon, is that once it happens once, then you don't have to be online, because I don't know, what if I'm traveling? What if I'm on a plane and it's Easter and I want to be doing Easter stuff? But we'll see. And
yeah, I guess maybe it would be just dependent on the date, right? Like, I don't know, Easter falls on a different date every year, but Christmas is always the 25th. So if you're offline, does that mean that Christmas just happens anyway?
Yeah. And they usually don't use specific holidays anyway. I mean, I think for Easter, they're calling it Bunny Day. So they could break the rules a little bit and be like first Sunday of April or something.
Non-denominational bunny holiday.
Yeah. Or like something like that. Or
that
like
great.
Snow Day in December, and we'll find out from there. But I did want to take a moment to congratulate 2 winners of Animal Crossing New Horizons copies. So a bunch of you signed up for tickets for NBC 500 Live, which obviously is not happening because we're not allowed to be in the office, and you guys all know the story. So instead, I just want to congratulate 2 very lucky winners, and that is Max Murphy and Luis Alvarez. Thank you so much for grabbing those tickets, and congratulations on getting Animal Crossing New Horizons. Thank you so much for being a part of our audience and a part of our community. We appreciate you. Yeah, little claps. And now, back into chat. What questions do we got?
Aaron Quinn asks, MVC crew, what's the best game that you've ever gamed? I feel like everybody knows my answer for this one, but what's the best game you've ever played? Maybe not your favorite game, but the best game.
Bloodborne.
The best.
Shocking response from Brian Altano.
That's a
No,
really
it's
hard question.
it could have been between a couple of them, but this year cemented Bloodborne as my favorite game of all time.
The favorite game of all time. Best game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mine's still Breath of the Wild. Everybody knows that.
Tom, do you have an answer to this?
It's a lot to
process.
There's a lot to consider. I think maybe.
I was just going to say, when I hear best, I'm thinking a game that has no problems. So IGN had to have given it a 10 if we're going to call it best, right?
Well, I mean, 10, a key thing to remember is that a 10 doesn't mean a game is perfect. A 10 just means it's a masterpiece.
But yeah, I don't know what I think best. I think as few issues as possible.
Yeah. The thing for me with best is like not only few issues, but like, did it do something new? Like, did it do something in a way that people that was so impactful that people changed their behavior, changed their design sensibilities, whatever have you, as a result? Like, to me, I think honestly, my answer might be Portal 2.
Okay.
Portal 2, I think, is just a phenomenal masterpiece even to this day.
I wish that they would put Portal and Portal 2 on the Switch, or like bring the orange box.
The whole orange box.
Yeah, I know we talked about it before, but like orange box is such a no-brainer. I guess the only thing there is like Team Fortress 2 would probably be a lot of work on Switch. So
I gotta imagine there's something up with the way Source interacts, and this is complete speculation, but the way Source interacts or runs on Switch that is like slowing that process down or preventing it or something, because I can't really think of another reason why they wouldn't have already besides just, I guess, lack of interest.
So my favorite Zelda game is Majora's Mask, but as far as best, I think Ocarina of Time might be up there for me as far as best game I've played. But recently, honestly, I immediately I thought of the most recent God of War game. I thought
that's a really good one.
It's not Nintendo, I'm sorry, but it was a really fantastic game. Let's answer another question.
We got a question from, let me see if I can find it. Iron Mike 20. He says, will there be a new Mario 3D platformer for the Switch? So we've gotten Mario Odyssey. Will we get another one?
I think so. I think that in the same way that we're getting Breath of the Wild 2 and the same way that we got Mario Galaxy 2, I think that there will be a second Mario Odyssey game, Mario Odyssey 2, using a lot of the same assets or character models or something like that, like basically like a plussed up version of the previous game. And for that, I'm all for it. I want that.
Yeah.
So Eric Urdono on YouTube says Super Mario Galaxy 3, and I would really be so excited for Super Mario Galaxy 3. I'd play the shit out of that. Whoops, sorry, I did a cuss.
Oh no!
I didn't mean to do a cuss.
It's too late to cover your ears, but pretend you didn't hear that. This one is from X's D. What's your favorite Zelda song from Breath of the Wild?
The whistle.
I actually like the piano that plays when you're riding your horse at night.
Yeah, I like that.
That's really good.
That's my favorite too. Like, I love the really sparse piano, and then like you just get a hint of the Zelda theme coming across the field. Like, that is very good.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
Yeah.
That area, I forget the name of it. I'm drawing a blank. But when you sneak into that like dojo. You know what I'm talking about?
Desert?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And you fight that big guy. Yeah, the Yiga clan.
The Yiga
There we
clan.
go. Thanks, Alexia.
Yeah, our
that
producer
music
just popped in.
That music is awesome.
Yeah.
And one of the villages that starts with an H. The
Hateno?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's see. Next question.
Yes.
That was just about Mario as well. A lot of people here talking about Rivali's theme is very good, and the Rito Village is very good.
Yeah. Darth Mike asked if I was self-isolating in a toy box, and no, I just have wood walls and a toy.
It does kind of look that way. Actually, your walls kind of look like what my Animal Crossing walls look like right now. I got a very similar vibe going. Okay, I have to ask this question because my man has asked it like 40 times since this chat started. Grimlock asks, is there hope for Transformers War on Cybertron or Fall of Cybertron on Switch? And like, I remember that game, but I don't remember it being something that we should clamor for on the Switch. Does anybody have any fond memories of the Cybertron game?
Pear sent us a message too and said the answer is very unlikely. He thinks Activision's license with Transformers expired in 2018, which means it's likely gone for good.
That's a great response. That's a very Pear response.
A lot of those games got pulled from the respective shops they were on. Same with the TMNT games. Yeah, that was licensed games are weird, but I remember there was a couple of those. I think those Transformers games were really cool at the time. So I would give them another go. I mean, like there's all sorts of nonsense getting ported at the Switch, so you never know.
Shadow Man. What the hell?
Yeah.
My only memory of those Transformers games was I was working at GameStop at the time, and I remember people coming in and asking me about them, and me saying like, yeah, they actually were reviewed like pretty well, and people kind of liked them. I don't know. It was like surprising at the time for franchise video games.
I remember the Platinum Transformers game was received really well too. Like people really liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got a question from Faye7 on Twitch. He says, "Hey NVC crew," or they say, "Hey NVC crew, would you like Nintendo to evolve in the future?" Or how would you like Nintendo to evolve in the future? I.e., what will it be like when you talk about them on NVC 1000? congrats on hitting 500 episodes. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. Like, where do you want the company to go? Not just their games, but like how much bigger and stranger and more interesting can they get as sort of as a company?
I'll tell you the first thing that I want for Nintendo to do is figure out what the hell they're doing with online. Like, I feel like Nintendo has been a generation behind in online services for, each iterative generation since we started playing games online. And I'm excited to play Animal Crossing with people and visit their islands and stuff, but like all the friend code stuff is nonsense, and like they got to sort that out. And like I think that their concern is from a Nintendo is a family company. They hate it when I do cussies, but like the fact of the matter is, it's 2020 and their internet practices are archaic. So that's the first thing that I would like to see from them.
It was super disappointing waking up this morning, and yesterday we had
you're right.
We had this great thing. Well, dang, wow, that was dark. No, I was gonna say, yesterday we had this great thing in our IGN Slack channel where everyone was sharing friend codes and getting ready for Animal Crossing, and like. Yeah, we have a spreadsheet of friend codes, and then you wake up this morning and you're like, oh, like all the people I just made friends with, I have to add as friends again? Like in the game now? Like we have to do this another time? Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
So I agree.
No, I think I want them to see. I want to see them dip more into TV, movies, animation. Take some of their IPs, make them in animated Netflix shows. I want to see how the theme park stuff sort of spins out. I want to see them get more into merchandising, more action figures, more like partner with companies like Hot Toys and Figma and Fig Arts, and do like more and more like really cool, like sort of branded collectibles. Do more sort of like adult clothing stuff, like the way they did the Pokemon t-shirt or like button-down shirt line. Like I think seeing like more stuff like that. Like if you did like a whole line of like sort of minimalist Zelda or Animal Crossing, or like if you gave me an all over print like button-down shirt that had just like small icons from Animal Crossing on it that were really subtle. I think stuff like that's really awesome. There's obviously a market for it. People are making clothes like that in Animal Crossing. So yeah, just make it real.
Brian, there's a question here that is sort of directed to the community, but I wanted to kind of bounce it back to you. Nick Amaro asks, to all my NVC parents, what's the first game you introduced to your kids? My daughter loves Let's Go Eevee. What do you think the first game that you'll introduce Aaliyah will be? Bloodborne?
No, yeah, she's definitely seen me playing a lot of Bloodborne. I try to shield her from TV stuff a lot, but she connected with the Link's Awakening art book really quickly and the Amiibo, and just loves those things. And recently, she'll wake up in the morning and walk into the living room and just look me dead in the face and go, "Aminals." And I'm like, really? Okay. And so I'll like turn on my Switch and she'll be like, "Deer." And I'll go meet the deer in town, and she's like, "Fish," and I'll go catch a fish, and then she'll start clapping and cheering like crazy every time I get a fish.
That's the cutest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's like there's a lot of stuff in that game that's obviously very. You do it without comes muscle memory, but she'll be like butta, which means go catch a butterfly.
Butterfly,
yeah.
It's
So
like
yeah,
it's like the modern like spin and speak.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I have one of those sitting right here. You don't want to hear it.
So this one is from Master Instanity. If you had to kill one of the big 5 Nintendo franchises, Zelda, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, or Smash, which would you pick?
Oh,
None.
That's a tough one. I would probably say Mario Kart.
Yeah,
I'd probably say Mario Kart. I love Mario Kart, but
I like
voted off the island.
I like Mario Kart. I like Mario Kart more than Smash, but I think Smash is more important. Like I think it what it does in terms of like celebrating the medium and bringing all these games in. I'm not great at it, so so it's just been like a fun party fighter for me. But yeah, it's got to be one of those two. I can't imagine losing Mario, Zelda, or Animal Crossing. I just can't.
Mm-hmm. You can't do
I'd probably depressingly go Animal Crossing actually. Because
Really?
like I love Animal Crossing.
Do the chopping block.
Well, this is the thing is like, this is no hate towards Animal Crossing. This is a Sophie's choice of a thing to do, right? Like we love all of these franchises, but of them, I feel like you could lose Animal Crossing and just like kind of survive okay, but like the gap between Mario Kart and the next kart racer in terms of like quality is a million, right? Like Mario Kart is
Sonic Racer's pretty good.
Sonic Racers is fine. Crash Team Racing I don't want to hate on because I know a lot of people love that. Jonathan Dornbush plays that game a ton.
Crash Team Racing is pretty good. It's really hard, but it's pretty good.
I don't want to hate on those, but like, man, Mario Kart is the pinnacle of kart racers and has been, and losing that to me would be more heartbreaking than losing like a really fun feel good, which I also love.
Christopher Lunher says, do you think the new Animal Crossing could be played successfully without catching any bugs, fish, and other creatures, or do things and abilities stay locked?
I think you could.
You actually have to in the beginning.
Oh, you're right. You do have to.
At least 15.
Yeah,
but then
you're right.
I think you could just totally ignore it.
Yeah, you're right. I think you could get by after you do that initial, like totally get away with not catching bugs or fish, but you just won't get those easy mileage bonuses, which is a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be the biggest thing you're missing out on. You need those miles for bells and to pay off your debt and for other things.
Yeah.
Arch Snowman
It's also
says,
really fun.
It is. I mean, I like catching new stuff. I just see a bug I'd never seen before, and I just get stoked to go and catching, make it live in a small box for the rest of its life.
Yeah. Or the museum where it can live with its friends in a large box for the rest of its life. No, every now and then I like walking by like the beach and you see just like a big shadow in the sea and you're like, let's see what this is. And you cast the line and you pull out like a 9-foot long fish or something like that. I don't know if you guys have you caught a coleocanth yet?
No.
They're like,
you can only catch it when it's raining?
Yeah. And at night, I think. It's like this ancient fish and they're awesome. They're gorgeous. They're gigantic. So you have like your little character and they're just like, it's great.
By the way, if any of you out there need help with Animal Crossing, we have a huge wiki on IGN.com with everything you need. Okay, go ahead, Zach.
A bunch of people, including the Spyro Knight and our friend Bo Trey, are asking Star Fox on Switch. And I will say, controversial opinion, I would like a Star Fox on Switch, but I would like it to be Star Fox Adventure on Switch.
It's wrong. Why would you do that?
I want Star Fox Adventure.
Oh, no.
You guys,
Star Fox Adventure.
Did you guys play that game?
Yeah, it's great.
Yes, I played it a lot.
What, really?
It's like Zelda, but Fox.
With the Triceratops named Pink Tricky or Prince Tricky.
Yeah, man, you can change his colors.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'll give you. I'm cool with Star Fox Adventure coming to Switch because I'm all for every game coming, and I don't want to hate on games people like. But I don't want that first on Switch. I don't want that to be the first Star Fox thing we get.
So it turns out people are mad.
Star Fox.
Everyone in chat is like, wrong answer.
Star Fox is the worst GameCube game I ever played.
Well, it's like one of the most bootleg Zelda games ever made, and there's like a whole bunch of like Ocarina, Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, and you guys want Star Fox Adventures with Prince Tricky, the Triceratops?
I mean, can you have a dinosaur friend in any of the other Zelda games? No. Well, actually, you can. A little bit, kind of.
You're digging yourself into a hole here.
No, in Oracle Seasons and Oracle of Time, there's no... Well, not Oracle of Time, but you get animal friends, but they're not necessarily dinosaurs.
And then the dragon boat in Wind Waker is kind of a dinosaur.
You're not wrong.
No, I don't think so.
Leading dragon expert Casey DeFrias just said you're not wrong, so I'm taking that to the bank.
Okay, that's fair. I think we got time for what? One more question?
One more question.
Okay, pick a good one.
It has to be short.
Oh, okay. Metroid 2D, but pixel art. Do you think we'll see another Nintendo game made with pixel art? We kind of talked about that one. Let's not answer that one because I already voted for a Mario game. Somebody else pick a question. I did a bad job.
Adarsh. Oh my gosh, this is scrolling so fast and I can't make it stop.
Yeah.
I lost it. Oh, hey, Benjamin Gentry asked, do you think Paper Mario will come back? Are Mario RPGs dead?
I think they'll come back eventually. Yeah.
It'll come back eventually. You heard it from here.
No, like I think that series has a lot of love and a lot of what's the word, like status, right? Like people know it really well, and I think Paper Mario will come back eventually. I don't know. The question is bigger to me about when, because I think it's for sure, but when Paper Mario comes back, I don't know whether they'll do real time or RPG, right? Like, because the series has gone both ways like that. I'm hoping RPG.
We'll find that out because I wasn't kidding about that 45 seconds. So, hey, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for this very special edition of NPC Live. This will go up as a VOD and audio sometime soon. Stick around on Twitch to see news, games, and more live, or go to IGN's YouTube to go and check that out as well. Thank you again so much. And remember, NPC is the only place you can
get the thing. Get 500 things. Bye.